Welcome everyone. Today we're going to discuss about the AI infrastructure, and we have our speaker from Africa, Dr. Nana. Dr. Nana, what you want to discuss about AI infrastructure in Africa?
Well, thank you very much. Greetings to everyone here today on this forum. What I would like to say is that AI, which is artificial intelligence, has really become a force to reckon with. And honestly, no one can do away with AI. AI has come to stay with us, and we all have to be able to embrace it so that all the good things, not the negative aspect of AI, but the good parts of AI can help grow our businesses and other sorts, or especially the areas that we want to go as far as AI is concerned.
Okay, excellent. Nana, uh, how can countries build sovereign AI infrastructures in Africa? How you are doing work?
Please come again with your question.
How Africa actually developing infrastructures?
Well, as far as I know, Africa, per its current position, is gradually embracing the introduction of AI into all of its activities. But as you know, Africa always starts doing things the hard way. Even though we believe that AI has come to stay and will help all of us to develop, we need to take our time to embrace the positive aspect of AI. As I am saying, I've heard a lot of people saying and trying to adopt the usage of artificial intelligence. But let's ask ourselves, how well have we been able to develop it? I am not even sure that the right infrastructure for the usage of the artificial intelligence is already in place. I've heard governments, I've heard politicians talking about the introduction of the AI into our system, but we only see the utilization of AI on social media and other places, but deeply on the ground, we are not seeing much of it really on the ground, except in the media, where a few people are using the positive, both the positive and the negative aspect of AI to either build or destroy. So with this, I believe that AI hasn't really seen the right infrastructure that it needs to help Africa, which means that we really need to do more, or we still need to do more to be able to achieve what we need to have as far as AI is concerned.
Yeah, like uh, Nana Adwa, what's your thought about artificial intelligence? How women get benefit through AI in Africa?
As Good morning to the audience. As Mike Ken said, it hasn't really been established in Africa, so we are all getting used to getting known to it. We are starting to use it, and we don't know more about it. So we need to be taught and know more about it, about the usage, the positive aspect and negative aspects as well.
Mhm. So when you say positive aspect and the negative aspect, what is the positive aspect for women in Africa, especially women economic empowerments, and what is the negative aspects in Africa?
All right. To answer the question, positive aspect is it helps when you are looking for something, you can just type it and it gives you answer. So let's say it helps in our daily lives. It really helps in our daily lives, as in searching and other things. It helps. But the negative aspect is most of our side, most of our they are deprived. So the kids and the women, they are not into social media and they don't have access to the AI. So we need to teach more of it. We need to teach them about it.
Mhm. Yes, Dr. Nana, my next questions like what are the key risks to relying on foreign cloud provider, data center, semiconductor supply chain for national IT capabilities? What is the infrastructure, AI infrastructure situation right now in Africa? Right now you are in Ghana, right? Dr. Nana?
Yes, I'm in Ghana now.
Yes. So what is the challenges you have in Ghana with this AI infrastructure?
Thank you very much. You know, for somebody to master or to be able to use AI very well, that person needs to know very well how to use, or that person must be a bit abreast with ICT. And if that person in Africa does not even know the ABC of how to use the computer, or have the best setup or at least a proper setup as far as the usage of a computer is concerned. That means that even if you introduce any AI application onto that person's computer, he or she might not be able to use it. So in the first place, I think that the information communication technology, ICT, gadgets, and infrastructure first needs to be taught very well. It needs to be introduced. That will be the first step. Even acquiring the computers or the gadgets to use in ICT is way below expectation in Africa. Most of the school-going people have heard of computers, they have seen some, but have not been able to fully lay their hands on how to even use it. Imagine somebody at the elementary school who has heard of AI, but has just seen a computer, but doesn't have one on his or her own to use in practicing. So such a person, even if you introduce an AI application, that this is what is done, are you now going to teach the person how to type, how to search, how to get information using the internet before you introduce the person once again on how to use AI? Then it means that Africa has a long way to go. I believe that if this would be possible, then Africa could have already advanced in the usage of computer or information communication tools already. Then with the advent of the AI, it will be easier for all of us to be able to use AI. So we have a lot of problems as far as the introduction of AI is concerned. The person already doesn't even know how to use a computer. So even if you introduce the AI, how is the person going to use it? So Africa really has a lot of challenges. And we in our various kingdoms would be happy if we are able to raise the necessary funds, acquire the number of computers and ICT tools or gadgets or infrastructure so that our people will first of all be abreast with the usage of computers and the ICT tools. And then gradually, when you introduce the AI to the person, it will be easier to adopt it, to accept it, and to use it in our various kingdoms. And then it will in turn affect the whole country, because in whatever you want to do, it has to start from somewhere. So really, it is just a few of us who understand what AI can do, both positively and negatively. But you know, it has to start from somewhere. Yes, that is my submission.
Thank you. Nana Adwa, what you want to share about AI education about Africa?
AI, please come
Is it me?
again.
Yes. What's your questions like answer about AI education? How AI implementing in African education?
All right, thanks for the question. As Dr. King said, AI needs to be taught. In Ghana, I'm in Ghana right now, and my kingdom, most of them, they don't have the schools, and the kids, they don't know about computer. They don't know about computer. So introducing them to AI, we have to first introduce them how to use smartphones, computer system before the AI. So it will be very difficult to start it from that end. It will be very difficult to start it from that end. Unless we start it, we give them the basis, then we teach them, then we get them into it.
Dr. Nana, can you hear me? Like,
Yeah, I can hear you.
like, how these African countries, they generated citizen national resources. What is the data regulations in Africa? How you store data in Africa? Do you have data center in Africa? How does it work?
Great question. Yes, there is a data. For example, I can give you one example of a data center in the capital of the Republic of Ghana, which is Accra. And I want to believe that even though I haven't visited the place, I want to believe that there are experts there who are able to keep data or store data very well. It is a national data center. And when we talk about the storage and the usage of data, it has to do with a lot of things as far as I know. Security issues even come in. And one thing I also know is that our security architecture, our setup in Ghana, also has its own, data management system, which it uses to collect data, share data. When it comes to national security issues, a lot of things cannot be said in the open. So on the security sector, I think I would just mention that, yes, there are a few setups in Ghana who are in charge of data management, data storage, etc. But let's ask ourselves, I'm not sure it is something that only a small section of the public should know or have access to or know how to do. Data management and storage should be something that should be taught in schools because it has this positive aspect and negative aspect. Because if you're unable to keep, store, or manage data, it means that if you happen to lay your hands on a sensitive data or a good or positive or negative data, you won't even know how to use it. And there are some data, when they are released into the public domain, they can cause a lot of security or national security issues. So, for Africa, I cannot say we are really up to the point. Yes, it is not totally zero, but there's still more room for improvement. We need to do more to be able to get to the top as far as data management and storage or data communication is even concerned. When we talk about data, there's more to it. Data management, data storage, data communication, etc., even transmission, etc. All these things come into data and its related issues. So we need to do more. As in Africa, we have a lot of problems. There are too many problems that most of us in our various kingdoms are trying to seek international support or international help to be able to encourage others and to help us, especially the kings and queens, to be able to overcome some of these challenges. It is not easy. Everything boils down to funding. I've always said that if you have all the best knowledge, if you have all the best ideas, and you don't have the funding to execute the best plan, you will still stay at point zero. That is our problem in Africa. So I believe that we'll one day get there. But currently, I will only give Africa, the whole of Africa, I can only give about 50%. If you ask me to rate data storage, data management, data communication, data transmission, etc., as far as Africa is concerned, I will just give Africa 50%, which is somehow, okay, but not too good as a mark. If you happen to find yourself in a tertiary institution, for me, 50% is not a good mark. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Nana Adwa, if I'm not wrong. So what's your thoughts about data protections in Africa and how Africa can monetize through data?
Please come my thoughts on the data. Come again, please.
Like how African people get benefit through data monetizations. What's your thought? Or what's you want to share
I'm not
about
really
your
getting the question because the network was.
yeah. So what you want to share your experience, like about this leadership role and so on. How you playing leadership roles in African kingdom?
Thanks for your question. It's been great and difficult as well. It's been great, but difficult as well because most of our kingdoms it's a deprived area. So when you are a leader there, you're supposed to bring empowerment. You have to empower the youth. You have to bring development in your area. So it hasn't been really smooth, but we are trying. We are trying. And I think when we seek funds and other things, we can help develop our various kingdoms.
Mhm. Thank you. Dr. Nana, like how developing nations uh, like Africa, like Ghana, finance and develop AI infrastructure such as computer, energy, connectivity without increased technological dependency. What's your thoughts? How
Doctor,
you can get yeah.
please repeat your question. Please repeat your question.
How can your countries get finance for develop AI infrastructure?
You're asking how our country can get or how our country gets
How
funding
your
for AI
country
infrastructure.
can develop with the ethical finance with this AI infrastructures. How your country can achieve? What's your thoughts? How your country can get financial access for this AI infrastructure?
Great, great. Dr. Sharif, I am sure you have read a lot about Africa. You know a lot about Africa, what we do, the states in which we find ourselves financially, etc. I will say that if an African doesn't have his or her own money, especially those of us in leadership, we can only set up what we want, whether it's in ICT, whether it is an AI infrastructure, etc. We can only seek funding. And seeking funding today is even so difficult. So most of us do a lot of things. It gets to a point where we get so tired and we decide to stop because somebody has the funds elsewhere in the world. And you would write all the letters, the person will ask you to bring all the letters, and then in the long run, that person will disappoint you. You might have all the beautiful plans on table, but later on, you would realize that the funding will not come. So we can only achieve all these through writing the right letters to people who have the funds. So if we keep writing and writing and talking about funding and funding and funding, and the fundings are not forthcoming, it means that all the beautiful works that we started will come to a knot. They will all come to a standstill. So to be honest with you, seeking or raising funds for development in Africa, whether it's in AI infrastructure or ICT, my brother, it's very difficult. We have done our best, we are still doing it. But people just, in fact, most people don't just have the heart to help Africa, especially those of us in royalty. AI, we believe, is something that we cannot do away with. But who is going to help us raise funding or funds to be able to get to where we want to get to as far as AI infrastructure is concerned? It's a big problem. We can only raise funds when we talk to people who have the funds. But after talking to them, which of them is bringing you the funds? Those people will read all your beautiful plans, aims, and objectives, etc. And yet the funding will still not be
Mhm. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Nana Adwa, what's your thoughts about economic empowerment of African women? How African women can get economic empowerment?
All right. Thanks for the question. Economic empowerment, to answer that, women need to be well informed. We can get that through education, vocational skills, and as a leader, I have a foundation called Edukuma Foundation. I have women empowerment and women empowerment. We have trained over 450 youths, women, both women and men, to with vocational skills. Okay, we've trained them so they can get it through training like vocational skills and education. But even if we do it like this, Dr. Sharif, you can train them, but if you don't set them up, it will be cost 90 job. You train them, and maybe you set up something small for them, maybe a factory, or they've learned bakery, or I've been able to set up a bakery stand. We can start from there. But let's say I've trained them how to do soap, bakery, and other things, and I don't have anything to offer them again. How would they start? I don't have the funds to start anything. So how will my people that I've trained, how would they start the little things that they know? So it all comes to what my king was saying, founding. Founding. If we don't have the foundings, all our works and our good initiatives will go. I don't know how to put it.
Yeah,
it
it will be
will be in a waste. Yes, because we
Mhm.
have good initiatives for our people, but we cannot do it alone. We are trying. It's not as if we are just sitting down and waiting for manna to fall from heaven. We are trying as leaders, but if you try and you are not getting any help, you will get tired. So when we
Mhm.
get help, I think there is much more that we can do. And when a woman is well informed, men are powerful, but women too, we are very powerful in the society. If you train one woman, you've trained over thousands of people. So it all boils out to what my king said, founding. So thank you for your question. And I think my answer was okay.
Thank you. Dr. Nana, what government framework are needed to ensure the sovereign AI infrastructure to support Africa?
Now
which
I'll leave it
government?
to King to answer.
Yeah, Dr. Nana.
You said which government framework?
Yeah, framework for economic framework for artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence oriented infrastructure you need.
What I would explain this briefly. What I think is that the government should make available or should help the citizenry to have easy access to um, gadgets like the computers, laptops, which are easy to carry, internet access free of charge because people pay taxes, at least if those taxes are used to build a certain framework which will introduce people directly into the usage of AI, I think that it will be fine. Because if a government does not introduce such a policy or a framework, to help people get directly into AI usage. Not everyone even has the money to buy a laptop. I am telling you, we
Yes.
rule, we rule in deprived areas. We are really suffering. We are doing our best. In the absence of government support, we use our personal monies. We do a lot of business ourselves, and then in the end, we use our hard-earned monies to support our kingdoms. And it's not easy. So if government does not free of charge distribute some of these gadgets, I am telling you, will not get anywhere in trying to master or use AI very well as expected to we are expected to do, and then Africa will continue to lag behind in the digital age in which we find ourselves currently. So government really has a lot to do, and which they are not doing. Everything in Africa, as far as our political leaders are concerned, is politics, 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 lies, deception, corruption, always looking for money for elections. When they are supposed to spend the money to affect positively the lives of the people, they hoard the money, they keep the money, they save the monies for future elections. All they think about is how to acquire power, 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 and then that is will be at the expense of the citizens who queue and to vote for them. As soon as they win elections, they don't really think about the positive change in the lives of the people or citizens. They think about the next elections, and they keep all the money for the next elections. Some of us, whenever we have the platform, we speak, and we speak our hearts. Because of that, we have a lot of enemies, but we don't care. We are in the service of humanity. We came to serve the people, not the politician. I am a king, not a politician. So I have to serve the people. When I am satisfied and my man or woman or child or boy is hungry, I feel so sad. Then I always say it was better I had not even eaten at all. Because I cannot always be satisfied as a leader, as a king, for my people, the people in my community to be hungry. But the politician does not think about this. The politician thinks only about his or her own nuclear family at the expense of the larger population of the republic. Let me just put the whole of Africa into one basket and call it as one republic or as one country. Africa really needs to do a lot. This is the time when Africans have to really rise up to know that politicians have deceived us for far too long, and it's time for them to give back the power to the kings who directly manage the people from the grassroots. Because if, as a king, I am unable to manage well the people in my community, it means that the government himself will not have a peace of mind. So, why won't the government support a king financially? First of all, develop his or her community so that it will in turn later in the future affect positively the whole nation. But we, the rulers, have rather been relegated to the background to the extent that we don't get any positive support financially. So, doctor, if you ask me, I will have a lot to tell you, but for want of time, I think I will have to stop here because things are not really going on well in Africa. Things are not really going on well in Africa. And for kings like us who speak our mind, we always have political enemies. Even they try to use people in our own communities against us. But hey, I became a king to serve humanity. So we will continue to do that. We just pray to be able to get the right funding from somewhere. And we will develop our own small communities, our own small kingdoms into big cities. That way, we will be strong enough to speak our minds to the politician. Because if you have not helped me to develop my community, can you come and control me in my kingdom? No, because I have gone around the world to seek funding for my own kingdom. And so you have no power over me. That is what we need to be able to get. But the question is, who is going to fund us such that we'll be able to do all these things you're asking for? Africa is really in trouble, you ask me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Nana Adwa, what's your closing remarks for today? What's your closing
Sorry?
remarks? Final comments.
Me?
Final
or-
comments.
Okay.
Okay, now
Yeah, you can
me or
go,
Ken?
then I request first you, then I request King.
Okay. Okay. My final comment is as a leader, Now we have come together. We have come together to form this African Youth Kingdom, to bring the youth, educate the youth, and follow the right procedure, find the right foundings, and build the next generation. Build them politician free. We are building politics free generation. So I urge each and everyone who is listening to see that we, as leaders in Africa, we have come together and we want to build the youth, responsible, very responsible youth for a good future. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Nana, what's your closing remarks?
My closing remarks is that we in Africa had, and still have a lot of resources, which the white man, someone elsewhere, used power to acquire all the resources. And now they are using our own resources in the Western world against us. What I want to say is that they should give back the resources they acquired from Africa, because those resources belong to Africans. So if we are now in need, they should do everything possible to support us. They cannot continue to treat us in the way in which they are treating us. We are all one humans. When your body is cut open now, the kind of blood that will come from your skin, it is the same blood that will come from my skin when my body is cut open. So why would somebody think that he or she has to discriminate against Africa when in actual fact it is our monies that they have stolen to develop their kind of the world that they are enjoying? Africa is really in pain, and we continue to cry and to shout and to say that they need to give us back what they have taken away from us in the form of support, grants, funding, so that we will develop Africa. Because one day, if they don't help us to develop Africa, a time is coming, whether someone sees this as a prophecy or anything ordinary, a time is coming when Africa will be the only safe haven. So if you don't develop your safe haven in future, and that time comes for you to go and stay in your safe haven, where will you go? You will not be happy even when you enter the safe haven, because you have already destroyed yourself with luxury, flamboyance, extravagant spending, the usage of opulence, and sort of things. So you are not used to hardship. So when you come back to Africa, you'll be suffering, as we Africans will be enjoying, because we are used to hardship. So they should give us the funding to help develop this place before that time comes. It is either a prophecy or any statement, but it will surely come to pass. Africa is the only safe haven for the world. The peace, the natural resources, the natural food, the uncontaminated free air that we breathe, a lot of natural things, the herbs that we have, which is devoid of artificial things. I tell you, Africa is the only safe haven. So people should not think that they have money now, so Africa is nothing to them. That time is coming very, very, very soon. Africa is the place to be very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I request
Thank
everyone
you.
to please share this content. Thank you. Bye-bye and take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.